Hi, friends. How's it going? So, today I want to talk about why, for most people, 90% vegan is the same as 100% vegan. And actually, this doesn't really apply to me, but it more so applies to people I talk to that are interested in why I eat mountains of fruit for breakfast and lunch. And like if they see me eating, they might ask me questions about what the hell am I doing? And I tell them I'm vegan and that there's an easy way to do it, etc. I'm not trying to convert anyone, but even if I was trying to convert someone to convert them to veganism, then I would follow this approach. Basically, being very chill about it and sharing what worked for me. Because there are a lot of different reasons for going vegan or eating plant based. And I guess that's kind of what I'm talking about. When people say that they're vegan, they usually mean that they don't, or that they abstain from animal products for moral reasons. So nowadays, when people say they're vegan, a lot of times they just mean diet. But really, what veganism means is that you don't use or consume animal products as much as is practical or possible for your lifestyle. So, you might still have, you might drive in a car that uses animal products and the leather and stuff like that. But if you had the option, you might not get leather. Anyway, you get what I'm saying, right? Veganism doesn't mean that you just don't touch animal products under any circumstances, because a lot of times that's not practical or possible for people. But veganism does carry the connotation of doing it for some moral reasons. And so one of the biggest reasons for going vegan is because you understand, or you maybe you watch documentaries about factory farming and you realize that animals are essentially abused and enslaved for their entire lifetimes before they're slaughtered for food. Or maybe you watch those documentaries and then you decide to support a local farmer who raises their animals as humanely as possible before slaughtering them. I think that's a really good thing. So, however, I think it's even better karmically to just not consume animals if you can. And for me, that's an easy thing to do. I don't need animal products, so there's no problem with that. So for me, I say that I'm vegan because my reasoning is largely because I don't want the karma of being involved with the slaughter of animals. And I see animals as friends instead of food. But there are a lot of people who eat a plant-based diet. And generally, their reason for going plant-based, I might say they're vegans sometimes, is less moral and more for health or digestion or blood pressure, or maybe they're a cyclist or runner and they want to get as thin as possible. It's just a lot easier on a plant-based diet. Because those foods that are animal products or derived from animal products like cheese, butter, meat, fish, etc., all those foods are much, much higher in fat than fruit, vegetables, grains, legumes, etc. The exception, of course, being that like nuts and seeds, avocados, things like that. There are high-fat vegan foods, but you should not base your diet around high-fat vegan foods. It's a recipe for failure. Anyway, okay, so that kind of sets the stage for what I mean by 100% equals, or 95, excuse me, that 95% equals 100% in terms of veganism. And like I said, this is more for other people than for me, for my friends. And the truth is that if you were 95% vegan, let's say you have 3 meals a day, and so in a week you'd have 21 meals, 7 times 3, right? If one or two of those meals were not vegan and every other meal was, then I personally believe that you would get 100% of the health benefits of being vegan. Or it's so close that it doesn't really matter in terms of your health. So it is shown pretty conclusively that vegan diets lead to the lowest healthy BMI possible, that they drastically lower blood pressure. Your risk of cancer and all sorts of diseases are mitigated by having a vegan diet. And I think that, like, let's say you had a doctor who knew this and understood these benefits of being vegan. If you told that doctor that you were vegan, there's no test that they could run, there's no measurement that they would be able to make that would determine that you were actually only 95% vegan. It's just not going to be that significantly different. So I think for a lot of people, this takes a lot of the pressure off. And in some ways, I do, although my motivation is moral in that the reason I don't eat animal products and animals is because I love animals, even though that's my motivation, there are times in my life where I might eat non-vegan foods. And I don't feel bad about it at all. For instance, let's say if I'm at someone's wedding or party, I might have a slice of cake that everyone's eating, even if it's not vegan. And for me, that's a personal decision that I make because, and it's pretty rare, it might happen once or twice a year. I mean, not even that really. It's a very rare thing. But I allow that to be a possibility for myself because I think it's also very important for health and wellness to not become an extreme dogmatic person. And so that's my choice, right? There are lots of vegans who are really, really hard on themselves and on other people. And being vegan does change the way that you view the world. If you've been vegan for a long time, then your reasons are moral, like I'm saying, then seeing animals slaughtered makes you uncomfortable. Being in a meat department in a grocery store can make you uncomfortable, etc. But I've been playing this game for a long time, and there's little that makes me uncomfortable, But I'm not about to slaughter some animals, of course. Why would I? I don't need to. So, getting into this sort of 95 equals 100 thing, I think that for a lot of people this takes a lot of the pressure off because they can't imagine not eating certain things. And the truth is that once you base your diet around plants, you really don't desire those things. It's more of a social aspect and sort of taking the pressure off the mental side of making big changes in your diet. Isn't it funny that people are like the most defensive about their diet as opposed to everything else? And I find that really funny. I see it myself too. So I'm not really shitting on anyone. But anyway, that's what I wanted to share this morning. And I hope it's helpful for you. I mean, I really mean that. No doctor would be able to tell that you were only 95% vegan. And that doctor would have to understand that veganism is beneficial in the first place. If you don't know that veganism is beneficial in the first place, there's lots of interesting research to be done. But you have to be very careful because much of the research that's done is backed by the companies that don't want you necessarily to go vegan. There's not a whole lot of money in telling people to eat fruits and vegetables, grains and legumes. They tend to be the cheapest food sources possible. Just look at all the Asian people eating rice. And it works beautifully. Anyway, I hope that's helpful for you guys. And it's fun for me to talk about. But if you like the video, then come back. I'll keep hitting you with more interesting content, of course. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.